Hey Fanatics, this is Tony coming at you from the group, and I am joined today by Tom Walker from Forge. Everybody should know who Tom is. He's frequently in the group sharing info about where to get tickets, how to work out any problems you might have, setting up links for us with our opponents when we're visiting their fields to get tickets for the group and all that sort of stuff. So he's graciously offered to come and visit us today and sort of clear up a bunch of stuff that's happening with the team between now and opening day, which is I think it's 22 days away. Am I right? Mm-hmm. 21, 22 days away against Cavalry at home. So we're looking forward to that. It's going to be a great Saturday down at the coffee grounds, which I have temporarily renamed the Glue Factory just for that day. So we're good that day. So all the kind of stuff that's happening there, what's happening with season seats, all the benefits of that, all the promos and perks and things that you get with that. We're going to talk about just the team in general, what's happening like during the season, all the little perks that we do, like families on the pitch and all that sort of stuff, and any other kind of stuff that we can think of as we go along. But Tom, I'm going to give it to you for like a minute or two. If you want to introduce yourself to the group and tell them, I don't know, whatever you feel comfortable telling them.
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. I know I'm not as exciting as, say, Tristan Borges, who I know you've had on the show before. So hopefully people still find this kind of educational and you know, kind of gets them prepared for the new season. But yeah, my name's Tom, Senior Manager of Business Development. So been with the club now this is my 5th season. So I started off in Section 112, just like a lot of other people in the group. And yeah, was a co-founder, went to about half the games. Half the season, sorry, and then I stepped into a position with the club and kind of have never looked back. So I've always had that link to the fans. Obviously, I met a lot of people whilst I was a fan, and then you know I would head down to York games and obviously the Ottawa final last year and bump into people as Tom the fan as well. So yeah, we're really excited for the new season. Obviously, we've got two sides of the coin here, really. We've got the on-field stuff, which is very well documented about, you know, where the team are, what's happening, who we're signing, etc. But then we've got the off-field stuff, which is crucially important as well. So yeah, that's where everyone, you know, joining this call and watching this video and in this group, and you know, people not in the group, of course, come into it, because without the fans, it's nothing. So yeah, we're really excited for a new year. That's a little bit about me, and yeah, happy to field any questions you have, Tony.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think like you said, it's we love the fact that you were first a fan and now working for Ford. So obviously you're one of us. You're coming from 112 down in the Bellows, as I like to call it there. And just we have been blessed, I guess, this year. We've got a bit more information than we normally get with player signings and stuff, because we know, and we, you know, you graciously set up a meeting with myself and Bobby a couple of weeks ago so we could ask a few questions. And even Bobby kind of, you know, he conceded that, you know, they're very tight-lipped. They don't really like to talk too much about what's happening behind the scenes, but we've been fortunate so far. So yeah, we're just going to chat today about like everything that's been going on. So now we know a little bit about you. Now, between now and kickoff on April 15th, the team is in Costa Rica. So the club put out some photos yesterday from their first friendly that they played. What's happening in Costa Rica? Like, how many games are they playing? You know, like, and when they get back, I believe there's a couple friendlies that we're playing. I think eventually against York United, there's one, and against possibly a couple of the local university teams as well. But if you can fill us in about, you know, except between now and kickoff, what can we look forward to?
Yeah, sure. So obviously they're in Costa Rica till next week. I think it's a huge get for the club, and I think it shows our standing and our relationships within this CONCACAF region, that we can go down to Costa Rica, you know, play against some very high profile teams in that region, and, you know, test ourselves against a good level in obviously warm weather climates, which we certainly don't have here right now, but it's coming. So yeah, I think that's testament to where we are as a club. So there's a couple of friendlies out there against foreign opposition. There was a couple beforehand against more North American domestic opposition, and then I believe a tune-up game when we're back. To be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure on all the scheduling of those, but I know for sure that, you alluded to Bobby mentioning to you that we're pretty tight-lipped about what happens in preseason. I think whilst Bobby and Costa are doing their thing, it will always be that way. That's the way they like to operate.
Yeah.
But I think what tends to happen is we're pretty quiet through preseason, and we let all the other clubs make as much noise on social media as they want to do. And then obviously hopefully this year will be different, but traditionally we've been slow starters, and that's when the questions come out about, whether we're going to win the league again. And then, we're always in the final, and we usually win it. So it's not a bad it's not a bad pattern to be used to. So obviously new Forge fans kind of understand the landscape there, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think the great thing to see, I think we've talked about it before, you and I know that the club has talked about it as well. Just the fact that we have most of our guys back. We've kept not just a core, but like the extended team, the majority of them are back, and we've got a few extra spots to fill. So the rumors are flying because they're overseas. They're looking for those international signings, possibly testing a few people out. So remains to be seen when they come back from Costa Rica. Maybe they'll bring a few guys with them. Who knows? But hopefully, like, we're looking for that kind of thing, like we're, the Josh Navarros of the past and that sort of thing to kind of, because as Bobby mentioned too, ultimately we've got 3 spots now, or three opportunities to qualify for CONCACAF, Canadian Championship, the League Championship, and the North Star Shield. So looking forward to all 3 of those and just watching the squad, and the ultimate goal being to get back to continental play. Like I said, those are the things. But in the meantime, to get there, you got to win something. So we're looking to go and do that. So that's going to be very exciting. So in and around opening day, it's like April 15th versus Cavalry, our lovely friends from out west that we love to hate as much as possible. Well, do you have anything planned for opening day? Do you know if there's events happening there? Like, we saw a bunch of stuff get added last year. The first real sort of test or full year back after all the shutdowns and whatnot. So there's a ton of different fan things going on in the sort of the fan zone, the south end there, by the entrance, and then like on field stuff and after game stuff. So what, I don't know, whatever you know about so far, I'm sure there'll be things added as the year goes by. But what do you know about so far as happening in the game day experience, I guess, on opening day?
Yeah, so we'll start with the home opener. So there is a event coming up to whet the appetite for fans and season seat holders, etc. Will be a very similar event and kind of Q&A style to the kit launch, but obviously with a little bit of a different flavor. And of course, there will be developments between the kit launch and that event to talk about. So we're working on a little tune-up event there. And then there is a nice surprise coming for all fans, casual fans, season seat holders, whatever kind of version of a fan you are. There's a nice surprise coming down the road. So keep an eye out for that. And of course, we are, as I've seen in the group and on other social platforms, lots of people taking pictures of the bus shelter adverts. That is a kind of taste of what we're doing. We're really trying to go very hard this season to increase capacity, increase awareness, increase attendance, and just in general kind of make it a bigger and better product, because I think that's what everyone wants to see. The people who have kind of been with us during the growing process have seen the potential and seen some growing pains. So we're all kind of experiencing that together, and we're trying to get to the same spot. So I think a lot of new marketing strategies were led exceptionally by the Associate Vice President of Business, Nicole Demirs, who I report directly to. And, there's a fresh outlook this season. There's a fresh kind of spring in the step about getting to where we want to be. So that's really exciting. And then in general, in terms of kind of the South Plaza and stuff like that, you're going to see very similar stuff to last year. And then it will all be tied into different themes. So not every game will have a theme, but let's hark back to when we had Canadian national team players down here, and you know, when it was fall, we had a nice little photo opportunity with hay bales, and for Easter we did an Easter egg hunt, and you know, we're going to be doing all that kind of good stuff again, because we recognize that there are different versions of fans. There are fans who come here and can tell you when we switch from 4-3-3 to 4-2-3-1, and they can tell you about, you know, who's pressing, who's, you know, dominating possession and all that. Then we've got the casual soccer fan with a little bit of knowledge, and then we've got the fan who is coming for a fun day out in the sun, and soccer is secondary, and that is absolutely fine. So we're trying to make sure that whatever reason that you're at Tim Hortons Field, we want to make sure that you guys are having the best experience possible. So lots of really exciting stuff coming down the pipeline. And as you know, Tony, as the season goes on and stories and narratives and events happen in the world, we'll respond accordingly to reflect what's going on at Tim Hortons Field.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the engagement with, like you said, all levels of fans and all ages of fans, and all types of fans has been incredible as far as I've seen. Like I said, even having the sort of the fall Halloween theme game, and you've had little kids showing up in their costumes. Best one being, I think it was the one kid who showed up with, like, he was riding a dinosaur, and he had like a cavalry jersey in his mouth, kind of thing. Stuff like that, just expressing, you know, your love for the team, but having fun doing it. Getting those younger fans, the grassroots fans, basically involved. And then we had the autograph signing day on the pitch, while the tables all set up. And I was actually kind of surprised, because I mean, I remember being a kid playing football, and it was, you know, upwards of 40 years ago. So it was a whole different ball game back then. There wasn't quite the access to players, and we just didn't have obviously a professional league at the time. So nothing like that was available. But I saw kids going up with their boots, with their soccer boots, getting their boots autographed by all these guys. And I was just like, this is incredible. This is just like we're at a great time. And now we've discussed this before, and I know a lot of the fans have before, where we're a big name. Like if you go to South America and CONCACAF region and stuff, like they cover us. They talk about us. We're just in World Soccer Magazine. We got a bit of coverage there. So you go around, and people are kind of starting to know, again, through the success through CONCACAF primarily, like who we are, and we are as a league. But we're still at that level, like I said, where we can interact with the players. Like at the kit launch, I still find fans who are amazed that you can just walk up to the players at the kit launch and get your jersey signed, and they're very accessible and all that sort of stuff. So it's a great time to be a fan, like as we're building through the years, kind of thing. And it's been, again, Forge through Bob Young and down with Tiger Cats and Forge have always been great with the fans and doing these kind of events, making them accessible. No, one of the things we talked about, and we mentioned, it's been mentioned through the Fanatics group and the Battalion group, that the Battalion's moved their main pub. Used to be down at End Zones and Bernie's, that kind of thing, but now they've found a location at Barton and Lottridge at Wingporium. We had the Christmas event. You came down with Miles and Milo, introduced them to the fans there. And I know we kind of talked about potentially having some of the players who are maybe not suited up for that game day come down prior to, and potentially having some players come after the match. Is that sort of still in the works? I mean, it's very fluid, I know, depending on schedules and all that sort of thing, and player availability. But is that the kind of thing that you're still working on? Because I know community involvement is huge. I've reposted in our group, and I know the fans, that the thing that we get the most engagement of that I can see is when I repost players at our elementary schools, players showing up at the grassroots soccer clubs, even at the local parks with the Soupies, we call them in Hamilton, and interacting with the kids and being involved with our kids in our community, going down to McMaster Children's Hospital, all that sort of stuff. That's really, I think, like I said, the most engagement we get. Everybody loves to chirp on the games and be excited about championships, but really I see the most people in our fan groups anyways really loving that kind of stuff, and just the opportunity to be with the fan, reposting their own photos, even when they're traveling, wearing their Forge jerseys. We got the Forge Around the World hashtag going. It's like people just, like Mark was just at Easter Island, and he had photos from there. He traded jerseys with somebody down there, all that kind of stuff. So the Wingporium thing, I guess, was my first question, and just other community sort of events or involvement in the community. How's that sort of progressing with the team this year?
Yeah, so regarding the drinks with fans, that would probably be a question for my colleague Shannon, who does all the community work, along with Courtney Stephen, who people may know from his Ticats playing days. So those two work together on the community aspect for Forge FC. So I know it's an idea that's been floated around and has been things discussed. So kind of watch this space on that one. And then in terms of community events and community kind of presence, I think one of the biggest unsung heroes of last season will be Shannon and Courtney, for sure. They went to an absolutely unbelievable amount of events. You name it, we were there. Beer Fest, Rib Fest, this school, that school, this charity, this sports organization, this soccer club, this indoor, soccer facility. They were absolutely everywhere. And they've been tasked to go one better, just in every single aspect of this club. And it's kind of, what we are striving for from, the business side to the playing side is, yeah, we've won 3 league titles, but let's go again. We've sold X amount of tickets, but we can always sell more. We've gone out to X amount of schools, but we've never been out to this school. So can we stretch and reach a new audience? So yeah, I really want to give a bit of a shout out to the community team, because they are some of the hardest working and, get the least recognition, I'd say.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. I know Courtney contacted me immediately and wanted a mug right away when he saw her. So I got my mug, and right away he's like, "How much is it? I want one. Drop it off at the store. We're all in," kind of thing. So that's awesome. But yeah, we'll be in touch with them if they want to come on and chat with us. They're always welcome as well. Just tell us where they're going to be this week and all that sort of stuff. We'll definitely put that info out to the group so we can come out there and meet them. Right. Cool. So yeah, and definitely I noticed seeing them all over the place. Like everywhere you were going, there was a Forge little tent or booth or table or whatever set up. You were there for the Canada games down at End Zones right next to us. I was helping out a little bit with Amanda at the Voyagers table. So yeah, definitely out there promoting the club and stuff, which we love to see. Let's get to the ticket side. For initially, we're going to talk about the season seat holders. So the benefits to being a season seat holder is you get tickets to every game. So I mean, that's awesome. And so this year we've got how many games do we have this year? Yeah,
so it is a 16 game package. So basically at the moment where there's 14 CPL games, obviously the Canadian Championship game against Laval. And then, we have basically put in there a playoff game, a home playoff game. Now, of course, if we don't make the playoffs, we don't have a home playoff game, then that money will be credited to everyone's account. But yeah, that's the overall package. But yeah, 16 game pack. And then, of course, it comes with all your traditional benefits. So we'll go through those first. So it's 15% off concessions and 10% discount on merchandise. So this is accessed through your Center Circle app. So what you should see is when you go to, when you log into your account, you should see a barcode towards the bottom. So that is what you would scan at the cash register to receive your discount. And if you don't have that barcode, you can get in touch with us and we can make it happen.
Yep, I've got mine. And I know people are concerned about not being able to connect with data plans and stuff, but unlike the tickets, because the tickets need to be live, so you need to be connected. But the barcode, I've just basically taken a screenshot and made it one of my favorites. So if I'm ever in the shop or at a concession, I can just show them the picture and they can snap my barcode and you get your discount. But the concessions does not include beer, I've heard. I've been informed many times. I've tried, but no. So just food and stuff, not alcoholic drinks.
And then every other drink other than any alcohol.
And then but we got $5 beers before kickoff, so everybody's generally pumped before kickoff, so we're good. So yeah, that's great. This year we got the scarves for the season supporters. I've already picked up mine because I was at the kit launch. Cool. So you got the commemorative scarf for supporters, for season seat holders, sorry. For people who haven't, I think there was a note that came up the other day. How do they get theirs?
Yeah, so as of today, so we are talking on Friday, March 24th.
Yep.
So as of today, people can head down to the retail store, and with a piece of valid ID, they can pick up their scarves. So it's one per seat. So if you are somebody with 5 seats in your account, you are eligible for 5 scarves, and you are responsible to getting them to the people who need them. And yeah, I think the best thing about the scarves is it's an exclusive. So we're not going to be selling this in the store. Your casual fan is not going to be able to get access to this scarf. We're trying to recognize season seat holders and kind of give them a bit of a badge of honor when they're walking around the stadium, and they see another season seat holder, and they can give them the little nod of approval.
Yeah, I think the scarf itself says member right across the bottom, the one side exactly there. So
that.
it's easy
and
to
it
spot.
Also obviously commemorates the 5th season, and then a lot of the other perks are very similar to last year for those who have had season seats before. So obviously you can access the pitch for warm-ups. So if you wanted to watch warm-ups down on pitch level, all you have to do is get in touch with a ticket rep to do so. There will be season seat member events that are exclusive throughout the season. More details to come on that. Priority access to third-party events at Tim Hortons Field. Participation in member of the match, which is something we started last year. So we would randomly pick a season seat member every single game. I'm not sure if the premise will be the same this year, but last year we gave them a prize pack and upgraded their seats for the next game.
Yep.
And this is looking ahead, but obviously you would be involved in renew and win prizing towards the end of the season as well. And I just wanted to talk about not being able to use tickets. So
right. And I've done this myself too. I've done it. I know either, like you said, because I couldn't make the match because of work or something like that, or even for whatever reason you couldn't make it. So I've traded them, or even just to upgrade, like trade them towards other things. So I'll let you sort of explain that to everybody, because I get a bunch of questions, and I usually just forward them on to you, and I go, Tom, tell me what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah, totally. So it's a common question. Obviously, we have a busy schedule, and it's through the summer when everybody has plans. So we totally understand when people can't make the odd game here, there, and everywhere. You have 4 main options. So option 1, you can, of course, transfer to a friend. So all you need is their email address to do so. You can either do it on account manager yourself if you're comfortable to do so, or you can contact a ticket representative and we can do it for you. So that's option 1. Number 2, this is done online on account manager only. You can resell your tickets on Ticketmaster. So Ticketmaster does take a small commission, and then whatever your ticket sells for after the commission, they will mail you a check for that amount. I recommend doing that as early as possible, listing it on the day of the game. The chances of it being sold are highly unlikely. Third of all, we can do ticket exchange. Now, for me, this is probably the best one. So, scenario time. Let's say you can't make game A, right? Game A is a Saturday when you're going up to the cottage, whatever. You can either do it online yourself or get in touch with a ticket rep, and you can move that ticket to any game of your choice coming up through the season. So what that means is if you have 2 tickets in your account and you're moving the 2 from game A to game B, instead of having 2 tickets for game B, you now have 4. And you can exchange and transfer as many tickets to as many games as you want. It's fully customizable. So if you go away for a month and you want to put 1 ticket onto this game, 1 onto this one, 1 onto this one, we can make that happen. And then to your point, Tony, if you are also trading in tickets to upgrade, then that cost of your ticket goes against the upgrade price. So you can kind of eat away at a little bit of the upgrade price with your current ticket. That works for everything from sections closer to the center of the field on the lower east to club level and suites as well. And then finally, if you're feeling generous, we obviously harken back to the community team. We work with kids and organizations in underprivileged areas of Hamilton, and, you know, kids from troubled backgrounds, you know, kids who don't have access to entertainment, basically. So if you want to, you can donate your tickets to somebody, you know, in that kind of circle, and you do so through your ticket rep. We will put it in the hands of somebody, and they can enjoy the game whilst you're away.
That's great. I mean, that's new to me. I did not know that you could do that. I know we've done it within the fan groups. Like, people will post like they've got an extra ticket and they'd like it to go to someone who maybe hasn't had a chance to go. And I know we've had a couple families where there was like one particular scenario was like a single mom with like 2 kids who couldn't just couldn't afford to buy the tickets. So we had people, you know, that weren't going to be at the match give up their 2 or 3 tickets so that they could attend and that sort of thing. But I didn't know that we could do it through the club. So that's amazing. We'll put that out there as well, that info. And then trade up, I've done it myself. I know I've got 2 season seats. On occasion, either one of my kids or usually my mother comes along with us because she's a big fan too. If we can't make it, I've traded the 2, sort of combined them towards 1 seat up in club level, just so I can check it out and see. And it's great up there for anybody who's normally sitting down where I am in 112 or on that side of the field. If you want to experience club level, that's a great vantage point right there. You get to see the whole field, and you got concessions right behind you and all that sort of stuff. I enjoyed it. I've been there a few times, and it's been a great experience there. I was going to talk about the suites, but before we get that, we've got a promo on right now, where it's $16 for additional tickets for the first 3 matches.
Yeah, exactly that. So we're making a big push. We start the season off Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. So it's obviously a very busy week for us, and we're looking to start with a bang. You know, in the sports industry and in sports business, the home opener is crucial, and it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the season. So yeah, we are opening that up to season seat holders only to pick up some extra tickets at $16, including tax. So yeah, we obviously do everything we can to reach new audiences.
Sure.
So there's 4 versions of me on our sales team. And then we have our marketing team, who are obviously helping us push sales, and community team, and we're doing everything we can. But really, we have thousands of salespeople in the fans, because they love the club more than anybody. They have friends, families, colleagues, acquaintances. They play on sports teams. They work in businesses with thousands of employees, etc. You know, they go to school, whatever it is. So we wanted to get that into all the fans' hands and see if they can help us kind of drag some new bodies to the stadium, because it's my personal belief that once we have people in the stadium, that's it. The hard work is done, because most people who come down and enjoy and kind of watch the game really enjoy it once they've given it an opportunity. And once they're like, wow, this is like right in Hamilton. It's been going for years. I've never come down, but like, wow, what an experience. The hard part is getting people to come down for the first time. So we're putting that on the table to try and incentivize single game sales for the first 3 matches.
Yeah. And so the 3 matches are the home opener, the Canadian Championship game against Laval, and then the second game, which I forget who we're playing, but it's a second home game the following Saturday. But either way, it's the first 3 games that week, not the first 3 CPL games. The Canadian Championship is one of those games.
Yeah, the Can Champ is included.
One of the 3. That's fine. And I agree with you. I know I've talking to other fans. They've all have stories about how they brought a friend down and now they're season seat holders or they're regular attendees at the game. I'll tell you one now, I do it as part of just my real estate business. I meet lots of people who are moving to the city, and Forge is like top of my list of one of the things I talk about when I'm talking about Hamilton. So I've got a couple, like, and this is not I'm not making this up. This has just recently happened, that I've relocated here from Texas, husband, wife, and a little 2-year-old. And, you know, telling about the team and all this sort of stuff. And they're really excited about it. I think I gave her one of those small little Forge footballs that I've had laying around for a while to their daughter and that sort of thing. They're season seat holders now. They haven't even been to a match.
Amazing.
They've already signed up. They're super excited to go. I was telling them about the kit launch. They've already lined up to buy the brand new jerseys. Like they're just ready to go. They're super excited to be there and stuff. And I think, you know, they didn't just buy in because I told them, like I told them to get started, but they went online, they checked it out, watched some game stuff, saw the success that the club has had. And it's, like you said, it's local. Like I moved them into a location down by the Stony Creek lakefront. So it's easy for them to get to. It's relatively inexpensive. Season seats, I believe, start at $180 for a season seat.
Half season starts at 180.
Oh, there's a
it's
half. Okay.
240 for
Still?
the regular season. I think it works out at $15 per game.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's for $15 to attend a match at Tim Hortons Field. That's your day, right? I mean, and then you can go off and do whatever else you want. I don't think there's anything less expensive or better value for money in the city that I can think of. And we've had some pretty good success in Hamilton over the years. The Bulldogs have done really well. Ticats have been to the finals. Obviously, Forge has done really well. Our university squads and collegiate squads have done really well. Our L1 League One Ontario squad, Hamilton United, has done well. And so even in the midst of all that, I think still Forge is still pretty much one of the best deals going in terms of the money you're spending and what you're getting from it with the game day experience, the club itself. The players have been amazing. The club has been great for the fans with all the perks and stuff. So that's the way I talk about it to people, and they just see it as a great entertaining thing for them to do, even if they're not hardcore soccer fans. Like you said, I had that time in my life where, you know, I was much more, I could tell you when we switched from a 4-4-2 to a whatever, I've kind of pulled back from that a little bit just to be like, I still understand it, but I'm like, okay, I don't want to go that hard. I just want to go and cheer and support the club and have fun. Right. So, and there's tons of people like that. And every single person that I've brought along with me to a game, whether it was like a regular season game, a Canadian Championship game, the final that we played against TFC, we had a bunch of people that I helped get tickets for that and get them to come. To a person, they've all enjoyed the heck out of themselves and thought it was a great experience. So definitely, like if you're out there, don't be shy, invite a friend. They're going to have a great time, guaranteed. And you never know, they might become a season seat holder with you. And then you'll have a buddy to go to the games with. There you go.
Yeah, and to redeem that offer, you just need to get in touch with your ticket rep. So easiest way to do so is call in the office at 905-527-3674. Obviously, a lot of people have got direct lines and emails to individuals. That's absolutely great as well. Everyone can help us.
Yep. And I think the easiest thing for me, I know you can call in. Obviously, if you've got some details to work out, that's the best way. For me, I just always sent an email. I know the formats are pretty straightforward, like twalker@forgefootball.club or jhutton@forgefootball.club, whatever it might be. That way I can just lay out the details and kind of just put it in your hands, and then you can get back to me whenever, if you don't have time to kind of sit and wait to go through the phones and that sort of thing. And I've always had an excellent response. I've never been disappointed. I know, like you said, you know, we're a new club, a new league. We've had some growing pains at times, and the club is growing, trying to meet the demand of the fans and trying to figure out what the demand from the fans are, like how high it should be and that sort of thing. So a little bit of patience on both sides always works too. Like I said, I've never been disappointed. If there was an issue or a mix up on my part in terms of tickets and stuff, we've always straightened it out and always had a great time. So a little bit of courtesy on everybody's side, just, you know, it goes a long way and we all have a great time. So it's going to throw that in there. That's my former customer service guy.
I appreciate that.
So we did talk about, you mentioned the suite. I know a bunch of people in the various groups have mentioned possibly getting together with a group of friends and getting a suite. So then I talked to you about it too, because I'm kind of interested in doing that. And again, as part of my business, as even like a client appreciation event, just renting out the suite for a game and having a bunch of past clients come and have a good time and exposing them to Forge football too. I've talked about cost before and definitely want to talk about that. But what is the suite? I've never been in a suite at Tim Hortons Field. What's it like? What's it include? What can you add on? Like whatever you can tell us about it, because honestly, it's a mystery to me. I've done everything at Tim Hortons Field except be in a suite for a game.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, the suites are, as you mentioned, used for a variety of reasons. Number one, as you mentioned, businesses, appreciating staff, appreciating clients, trying to make a bit of progress in a deal, for example, or customer service, whatever. Obviously, there's a friends and family kind of vibe as well, where people just come because they want to enjoy a special day out. And birthday parties are pretty popular as well, because it's a private space. So it's located just above club level. There are 12 outdoor seats, and there are 2 seats inside with a field view. The suite does hold up to 20. However, I would say that 14 is a comfortable number. That means that everybody will be able to watch a game. So obviously you come up the entrance at gate 3, and you're met by the private concierge, your personal concierge that will look after you. Beforehand, you can pre-order food and drink. So you can make a pre-order and you can choose when that arrives. You can have that pre-game, half-time, during the game, whatever you're looking for. Now, there's everything from, popcorn, chips and dip to full a la carte menus with lobster and sushi, whatever you're into. Yeah, there's a full list. There's a fully stocked fridge in the suite. Food and beverage is not included in the price that I'll quote at the end. So how that works is you just build for what's missing. So all the prices are located by the fridge, and so you can see, how much that beer is going to cost you if you crack it open. But basically, whatever's missing, we just ding the card on file afterwards. And yeah, there's a bunch of really great amenities up here. So there's a bit of a social area for everybody. So anyone who's been in a club level will know, club level is a great buzzing social spot. We have like a very small version of that up on the suite level. It's obviously a great opportunity to rub shoulders and, run into certain individuals. So, our owner, Bob Young, has his own suite, and he's here every now and then. Of course, we've got a couple of higher profile people who dip in and out as well. So it might be great to spot somebody that up here. And yeah, it's just honestly the most comfortable, most private, most kind of luxurious seating that we have available at Tim Hortons Field. It's available on a season basis or a per game basis. So a suite is going to set you back $1,000, including tax, no additional fees. So what that gets you is the seats. And as I said, the food and drink is on top. It's completely up to you how much you want to spend on that. And yeah, sorry, one thing I left out. Parking is provided for the day. So you'll get some on-site parking passes. And we like to make sure that, the mascot comes up if there's kids, if there's a birthday party, we put up some balloons for you guys and put a little birthday card on the table. And then we have some inactive player visits as well. So anybody who's injured will come up, say hello, spend some time with you in the suite. And then, little old me will pop up and say hello as well.
Yeah, that's excellent. No, so I know we were talking before, so I did the math a little bit based on about 16 people roughly in a suite. So $1,000 taxes in and everything works out to about $62.50 per person. And like you mentioned, you can trade in. So if you've got like a $40 ticket and you're all getting together with a bunch of people, 16 people, and you want to trade in, you basically throw in the extra $22.50. Or whatever that works, how it works out to at least get the ticket. And then, like you said, food and drink and all that sort of stuff is an addition. So, I mean, generally speaking, that seems like a pretty good deal to me. I don't know. I'm going to give it a shot definitely this year. I know you've been working with a group trying to get a bunch of people. They were all kind of contacting you for the one game. And I've actually put the feelers out to a few different people who might kind of partner up with me to do this, some business partners and that sort of thing. And when I mentioned the pricing to them, they're actually kind of shocked it's so cheap, to be honest. I mean, I'm not trying to oversell this or anything like that.
No, for sure.
When I mentioned it to them, like it's $1,000 and it's 16 people compared to a lot of the client appreciation type events and things that I've done, either with the chamber and a few other things. That's not a lot of money for a business to spend, like I said, for a networking event, or like you said, to just client or staff appreciation type stuff or just work anniversaries and all that sort of thing. It's not. And the experience of the game, the quality, I mean, we kind of talked about the experience, like, but one of the things that I remember that struck me the most is because prior to CPL, like I said, I've been a lifelong football fan since like 40 plus years at this point. So I watched a lot, and I remember back in '86 going to the Men's World Cup and the hoopla around that, and when the Hamilton Steelers used to be around. So I've known, but just prior to CPL, I kind of had faded from Canadian football. I really wasn't paying much attention. I kind of would know what was going on with the women's team and that, but overall just wasn't in touch with what was happening in Canadian football. So opening day, the thing that struck me the most was just the quality of play. Like I really didn't know what to expect, and it's just gotten better since then. Are some of our guys going internationally and moving on, but then other international type players coming to the squad. So in addition to the game day experience and the suite and stuff, the product on the field is fantastic as well. So I mean, all around, it's a great experience, I think. So I think
one thing I wanted to mention, Tony, as well, if anybody like yourself is interested in upgrading a seat, they want to see what the vantage point is from a suite or from a different area of the lower east or the club level. Like we're always, excuse me, always open to meeting fans at the stadium and giving a tour, like a try before you buy. Right. So you can get in touch at any time with a ticket rep, and they will meet you at the stadium for a half hour or so, and they can show you all the different options that are available. So if anyone's feeling, you know, a little unsure what it all looks like, you can get a little taste on the website. So there's a premium seating section on the website, and it gives you like a 45-second promotional video that will kind of whet the appetite. And then if it's something you think you want to do, then you can get in touch with somebody like myself, and we can come down to the stadium, and we'll have a little walk around and can show you some opportunities. You know what?
Saying that, maybe we'll do it. Maybe me and you. Maybe I've got my little my Osmo, and we'll get the little video going, and we'll take a tour.
Yeah, sure.
We'll set up a day. We can do that. We can do a tour, and then we can show the fan group. Take a walk through, and that way, you know, if you don't have time to go and do it yourself, maybe that'll get you going. Because you know what, I honestly wouldn't mind seeing it myself. I said,
we'll set it up.
We'll figure it out, I'm sure. So I think that we've covered pretty much everything we want to cover. Is there anything sort of outstanding or events you want to talk about? Like I said, during the year, we're going to probably have families on the pitch again. Possibly another autograph type day, an appreciation kind of day. Anything else stand out in your mind in terms of things that might be going on?
It's a really exciting time. In the next couple of weeks, we are going to announce probably 2 or 3 kind of big pieces for the season. So yeah, kind of tight-lipped on that at the moment, but definitely stuff to look forward to. Tickets. Now, tickets were released into people's accounts.
Yep, it's in my
Wednesday.
CPL account. Yep.
Yeah, so obviously it's a big wait if you buy a season seat in October and then you kind of wait till March for it to be turned on. So a lot of people, you know, particularly new season seat holders who have purchased but can't see their tickets, you know, they ask if they're doing something wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. We just hadn't pressed the green light for back of house reasons. I won't bore with everybody. But yeah, they should be in everyone's accounts now. If they are not, then get in touch with a ticket rep, and we can just click a button.
And the one option we forgot to mention was the Forge Faithful.
Yes.
That was the one. So we have our regular, just new to this year, which I signed up for. But again, we have our regular, you know, we can buy your season seats for the year, but then you've got the ongoing program and sort of in perpetuity, lower monthly payments, but it's basically, you've got these season tickets until you say you don't want them anymore. You don't have to necessarily renew every year. They're just going to be there. So how does you get that set up and everything? And what else is going on with that?
Yeah, so you can sign up to that online if you feel comfortable navigating the account manager, or you can get in touch with somebody like myself. And you're exactly right, Tony. There's no extra cost to this. There's no interest. There's no kind of setup fee or anything like that. It's the cost of your ticket spread over X amount of months, and it just keeps recurring until you opt out. So obviously a lot of a lot of entertainment companies at the moment. So I'm thinking about a big streaming service with big red letters. You have that in your house until you wake up one day and think, I don't want this in my life, or I need to put this on pause for a couple of months, whatever. So that's how the new membership works. You can sign up at any time. The closer towards the end of the season you sign up, the bigger the payments are. So the advantage when we launched it, excuse me, is we had a longer runway to do the payments. So the payments are obviously a little bit smaller, bit more manageable for people, but it's still something that people can sign up to today, and it's going to be something that we've had great success with it. So we're going to keep running with it beyond this season.
No, I thought it was a great idea myself. Like I said, it's just something, one less thing for me to think about, because I'm confident that I'm going to be a season seat holder next year and the year after that. But like you said, if something were to come up, then obviously I can, if I were to move or something along those lines, I could just contact you and let you know, and then you'll sort of balance out the payments or whatever's been done, kind of thing, right? So yeah, but no, I thought that was a great idea. Again, just because just saves me from having, because I get the call, which I don't mind you calling me every year, but it just my answer is going to be yes, so I might as well just go ahead and do it, right? So I think that's it for all that sort of stuff. I had the one question that came in from Charles. We talked about it before about the meat pies. Yeah. When are we going to be able to buy meat pies? And we were talking about, I know you said it, you like getting them at York.
Yes. Yeah.
Meat pie. So that's James Sharman, which a lot of footy fans in Canada will know, because he's been all over the place over at Footy Prime and that. And he started a English meat pie company a few years ago and got really successful. And they're selling them at York. So the short answer is, I don't know, maybe we'll talk to James and we'll get meat pie, or somebody here in Hamilton. But I know they are changing some concessions. They had a couple of samples of some new stuff at the kit launch as well. So that's, I'm presuming that's an ongoing kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, it's an ongoing thing. And the best thing that anyone can do who's trying to push any kind of menu item and thinks it's a good idea, after the game, when we send out the feedback, and we say, hey, Tony, did you enjoy the game today? Please leave us some comments. If you leave a comment more often than not, and there's more people, like, we do look at them, like we get them on a Monday and we go through and we have a look at, if there's 5 people who have said, the hat selection needs to be better, then that will be forwarded to the retail team. If it's, the tickets that were sold to me were not what I wanted, I was looking for something else, that will come to me. It gets filtered around. So if you do want to see some changes at the stadium, those feedback forms are not just there to make it look like we're listening. We read them. So you need to fill out, I would like to see meat pies every game. I would like to see meat pies. I would like to see, and then, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, and obviously the more people that fill out that same thing, like you said, if you had like 100 people that said that, then that carries a bit more weight than if 2 people said it, the kind of thing. But it's obviously something that you'll review. And mentioning hats, you need hats for people with bigger heads. I have a first year championship hat. It's the only baseball type hat that I've ever been able to fit on my head from the Ford shot. And so I just keep, which is fine. It says 2019 champions on it. So I'm happy to wear it all the time. But you need a couple options for people with bigger heads like me. Because I have a Fred Flintstone style head, unfortunately. And so that's always an issue. But yes,
Noted.
There you go. No, I appreciate you coming on. I think that's pretty much it. I was going to ask you personally, I know you carry a lot of weight on your shoulders. You do a lot for the club. You wear a lot of hats at different times. So I've been talking about hats again. You also carry the burden of being a Nottingham Forest fan. That's a heavy weight to carry. I don't know. I've seen the last few games. They tied Everton and had not so great results. You've got like the Wolves coming up and Leeds United. What do you think their chances are? I mean, you've got Forge as the bright light in your life to keep you smiling at least. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your prediction on Forge for the rest of the year?
Well, I think I'm 33 years old now. When I was 8, my club was relegated from the Premier League, and we came back this year. So it was a long wait. I am used to kind of disappointment, and I'm used to failure. So Forge being the team that they are is an absolute blessing from above. I cannot tell you how strange it is to support a team that goes into the season every year expecting to win. I'm a born and bred pessimist when it comes to Forest. I think we may just stay in the Premier League for the 1 year. I think we may fall through the trapdoor this year. But I still keep an eye on it. I watch every single game on Fubo, where obviously you can catch the Forge games as well, which is a great platform. So thanks for bringing that up. International break.
I had this
so
thought I did.
No Forest pain this week.
No, that's good. I mean, the only reason I bring it up is because, like I said, I've been a football fan I'll be turning 50 this year. So I'll, conservatively say at least 40 plus years. But way back then, you really couldn't get anything in Canada in terms of soccer. If we got one match a week and highlights, we were happy. And that's what we got. But one of the things that made me a fan as a small child was teams like Nottingham Forest, Sheffield Wednesday, Queen's Park Rangers, the Glasgow Rangers, you name any English team that had a name with like Forest in it, or Wednesday, which is a day of the week. As a kid, that was the most amazing thing ever. I thought because I was used to watching, being an Italian family, at least on my dad's side, Serie A, right? So it was just like Milan and Torino and this, just city names. But then you started getting Forest and all this kind of, I'm thinking like Robin Hood in my head now. And I'm like, what are all, and so it just, as a child, it made me more interested. So I just kept watching. But then I started getting into the players, right? So I used to follow like Norman Whiteside way back when he played in his Man U days. But then Tottenham, another team, Tottenham Hotspur. Names like that don't happen in Canadian soccer. So I was getting very excited. But then I'll show you this one thing. I just want to show you this one thing, because looking up, now that I was thinking about it, I was looking back, and Tottenham Hotspur in particular, the two guys I loved that way back then were Hoddle and Waddle.
Oh, okay,
Two guys playing
Hoddle
midfield.
and Chris Waddle.
Yeah, you got Hoddle and Waddle in midfield. Like, how perfect is that? But then I just discovered this today. Can you see this? They had a singing career.
What?
1987.
Oh Chris.
1987, they hit number 12 on the UK charts with this little banger. It's like a Depeche Mode kind of ripoff. I don't know. I just stopped that before I get dinged on YouTube or something. But
so what you're telling me is Dom Samuel, Tristan Henry collaboration coming up soon.
I think so. I mean, Alphonso Davies is in a rap group.
I'm
thinking we put together a Forge, kind of like a We Are the World kind of album, and we put it on the playlist. Or I don't know. I mean, you can't challenge those mullets. I don't like that's never coming back. But
it's gonna be a tough act to follow, that one.
But I just happened to stumble across that this morning getting ready. I was like, I should show this to Tom.
I'm glad you did, because I had no idea that was a thing.
They hit number 12 on the UK. That was like top of the pops or whatever. And then
that's pretty good.
Their follow-up, I was reading it on YouTube. I went down the rabbit hole. Their follow-up hit like number 97, and they're like, that's it, we're done. Let's
stick to the football.
Let's go do that instead. But that was just good. So anyway, I do appreciate you coming on, Tom. I know you got a busy day. We've taken like an hour of your time already. But if anybody's got questions, obviously T Walker at forgefootball.club. You tag him in the Fanatics group and in the Battalion group. And I know, obviously, give him time. We do have jobs, so we're not always checking Facebook and that sort of thing. But he's always been very reliable, Tom and James and anybody else, because there are a number of people from head office in the various fan groups in responding and getting back to us with questions, setting up, like I said, tickets for away matches, even along with Kevin arranging the bus to travel like we've done. So potentially we're looking at maybe getting some stuff like that hopefully this year. I know the fans are planning already away matches at Ottawa, potentially even Halifax, and maybe even a West Coast run to hit the two clubs on the West Coast. So we're all sort of been a buzz about that already, because like you mentioned, it's been a long off season, and
Yes.
we've been waiting for the tickets to show up. But more than that, we're waiting for the actual matches. We're chomping at the bit. So we're already planning away trips and stuff to York and Ottawa and everywhere. So I'm sure we'll see you there. And again, I appreciate you coming on. And do you have any parting words you want to share? Or
just thanks for the support. You know, as I said, football without fans is genuinely nothing. So we really, really, really appreciate everything that everybody does, and we need you again. So off the field, we need you to help us grow, and on the field, the players need you to roar them to victory again, and you know, achieve new heights. So the fans play a huge part, and everyone's always been great to deal with. So just excited to get back into it.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom. And to you and everybody else, we'll talk to you again soon.